Hey there, Blade Gang. We've got a special one for you today, and I hope you got a little bit of time because I've got 7 knives to show you. So get that finger lubed up to fast forward, you fast forward guys. Well, hopefully you do have time. I kid you, but I know we all kind of skip through videos. If you wanted to see something about these OG Kaisers that I have set up for you to see, old school, original gangster, don't make them anymore. So yeah, along those lines, you may not be able to find them at your local online store and order them up and get them real quick, but you might be able to find them on the secondary market. At any rate, this is for your interest. And for you knife enthusiasts, and many of you have these particular models already anyway, what you're looking at right now, the first up, is the Kizer designed by John Gray. And we've got 2 designed by John Gray today. A fantastic custom knife maker and designer for Kizer. This is the Kyre, Kyre. GPB, that stands for Gray's Pocket Brute. It's only a 3.5 incher, but it is a brute, as you'll see in a moment. Now, I think the Kyre terminology, Kyre, refers to his original custom of this, and not this particular knife, but I'm calling it the Kyre. Are you ready? Look at that wide blade that tapers to kind of a spear point, clipped off, swedged, and look how thick that steel is. Now, should you want to know more about any one of these knives, I have individual reviews on them on the channel. You should be able to know how to look them up. I'm not going to list the links to each one. I'm trying to do less of that because it takes more time to do these long videos, okay? And I want to get them up and available, but a fairly slim-lined knife. Problem with this model and the one you'll see, the other one by John Gray, is that they are extremely smooth titanium slab handles. And yes, they are slick. So although they're sort of set up to be tactical, defensive sort of knives, they are a bit slippery, but they, at the same time, are great candidates for billboarding and putting what you want on them, getting them modding them yourself, what have you. There's just lots of real estate there on both sides to play with for sure. And look at this scalloped sort of thumb stud. Yes, there is only a thumb stud on this one. The thumb stud also acts as the backstop because there is no stop pin. Nope, none that I'm aware of. Look at the size of it in the hand. It is a big one. Again, not that long a blade, only 3.5 inches. And we'll verify that. Yep, 3.5 inches and 8.5 inches overall. But look at this. 1.75 inches tall, almost as tall as the Artisan Proponent by Dirk Pinkerton. And we've got a Dirk Pinkerton knife coming up today. I'm going to set this down and attempt to do a end of video collective so you can see them all. I may as well bring out the next John Gray. This is the Slimline Tactical. The abbreviation is SLT, and no, it's not SLUT as some people name it. I don't know why it would be. But it's the Slimline Tactical, the Kizer SLT, also by John Gray. S35VN on that one, S35VN on this one. That's pretty much the Kizer old school formula is S35VN, and they haven't varied very much in the new world in 2023. They're making a lot of their better knives out of S35VN. So definitely a solid steel. Many people prefer it to M390 and 20CV and so forth. So again, you see this terrific smooth surface. Now I wanted to get this one as a companion piece to the GPB and had a heck of a time I think I ended up getting this on like Optics Planet or something out of Chicago. One of the last ones that they had. There is a blue handle version of this as well, blue titanium, anodized. I'll try to come out a little bit without spoiling the rest. One thing these both have is this giant domed smooth pivot. And apparently that's characteristic of the designs of John Gray. Now this one also, I think this is a slightly longer blade. Yeah, slightly longer, like 365, something like that, and overall length of like still 8.5. So same overall length, just slightly longer blade. Look at those two, huh? Incredible. They're both frame lock folders with hardened steel inserts, and they both have that kind of spoon-like pocket clip, but they do go in and out of the pocket pretty well. And these haven't been in the carry rotation. They're more or less collectibles for me. What can I tell you? Next up, the Megatherium by Elisha Isham. The long gone, not long gone, but definitely missed knife designer, prolific knife designer for Kizer and many other companies. Elisha Isham, sorry to see him pass, and it was tragic. This is the Megatherium. There's also the Megatherium, which is the smaller version, but this is the full-size version. You've got that nice go forward there. You've got a big old opening hole in this, call it a sheep's foot or whatever you'd like to call it, Wharncliffe sheep's foot, with almost a straight edge. Wharncliffe would need to be a straight edge. I think the sheep's foot would too, but this one's in a really nice carbon fiber with kind of a wood grain to it. Kizer has used that on a couple of occasions. S35VN again on this one, and more comfortable in the hand than you would think. Holds kind of like a pistol grip, and you can choke up, and it's actually a very useful EDC knife. Big old titanium bolsters. I mean, that's a lot of titanium for a bolster. Look at that. It's like 2 to 3 times the amount you usually see. The Megatherium, and we're going to see if we can widen the shot out a little bit as I shuffle some of the next ups off to the wings. Let's see, right about there should be good. Let's start moving these up where they're out of the way. That's 3 out of 7. Let's bring the next one up out. This is an Azo design, and this is the Zugang, complete with Chinese characters and a broadsword chopper Dao style blade here. Look at that. Really, really cool. Again, not that long a blade or a knife. Well, 3 3/4 in this one, so it's a little bigger than the rest, but somehow they're stuffing it into an 8.5-inch knife. So this acts as some traction, even though it's smooth, and we got that interesting kind of whirlwind pivot on there. That's really cool on both sides. And this one's got T8 on both sides, so I haven't tried loosening it or tightening it, but by the way, the action on all of these is silky smooth. Doesn't matter which one you pick up. Oh, God, that Megatherium is just really smooth. And both of the John Grays, once you get past the detent hump, just drop. Trying not to go back, okay? Got to move forward. So that's the Zugang, an Azo design. 3 left. This next one up, I've got to go to my cheat sheets real quick. This is the Vindicator, a Marshall Noble design. Look at the sculpting on that one. Now, I'd love to see the sculpting on the John Grays, similar to this, or something that gives you a little traction. But look at the rock pattern. You seldom see that right out of the factory. the Vindicator, and look how high that tab is. Now, he actually chimed in on my review, Marshall Noble did, of this a while back, well over a year ago, and said that this was made so that it would lock into the hand, okay? So if you go forward in that generous choil, this is definitely locked right into the hand. And even if you go back here, you're not going to slide forward. Big palm swell. And S35 VN again on this one, yes, you guessed it. And not quite as drop shut as the others, but definitely still smooth. They're all on bearings, as far as I know. Yep, bearings. I can see them inside. But yeah, it is a very prominent flipper tab. So if you don't like them sticking up like that, you know, you may not be able to find this one anyway. But again, secondary market for a lot of these. But look at that big belly with a clip. Very useful knife. You got a piercing knife and you got a slicing knife. And you got a tip that's not bad, that's right there. Because of that clip, it brings the point down. Interesting. Here we've got sort of a persuader. It's got a notch, 2 notches in it. Very interesting. Theoretically, it could be used to, to strike a magnesium steel to create sparks for a fire starter. Pretty good jimping on this one. You know, I don't see too much jimping, if any, on the others so far. And we're going to put this in that way so we can fit the rest. And how about an Ivan Braginets design, the Odin, named after the god, the big god, the head guy, Odin, Norse god. Here we've got a heavily textured carbon fiber, of all things. You seldom see carbon fiber carved up like that. But it works very well because that weave sort of texture is underneath, and it is on both sides. Oh, that is amazing that it's on both sides. S35 VN again. I think these are all going to be S35. We've got both an opening hole for finger flick, very nice, and not too bad, a flipper tab with a little bit of jimping there. And rather smooth jimping here. It isn't bad. It sort of works. Feels very comfortable in the hand. Full-size knife again. Yeah, 4-inch on this baby. That surprised me. Almost 9 inches. Now I know why I got it. It's a big knife. It's a long one. Interesting jimping here on the backspacer. A really cool knife. Look at the point. Kind of a Tonto-esque without the double grind. And kind of nose down here. I like the way that got clipped. It just sort of rounds down. But it's piercing. And it comes through pretty sharp. Here we've got that landing platform that you see on a lot of the Todd knife and tool designs for Bestech. So it's a place for your finger to land, tactile sensation there. After the flip, again, you can middle finger flick it with ease. And S35 VN. Last and certainly not least, by our good friend Dirk Pinkerton, is the Nomad. This is his folding Nomad. Nomad is a design he's done a lot in fixed blades and I think maybe other folders. And if you look at his Night Horse, it's sort of somewhat reminiscent of that upswept blade of Spanish design, the Navaja. Here we have sculpted titanium handles. Titanium handles on all of these guys, except for here with the bolster being titanium on the Megatherium. Look at that neat carved look to this. S35 VN again, yes, you guessed it. There's the name, Nomad. Some do have the name on them. I think maybe with Kizer they all do. I didn't look. Also a fairly large knife of almost 4 inches. Come on. Hard to measure those Persians. Yeah, like a 3.9 on that one, and almost a 9-inch again. So the two big ones on the block are the Nomad and the Odin. Well, let me know what you think. This didn't run quite as long as I thought. We're at about 15 minutes. And, you might be able to get these, you might not. You're not going to see links to them. My apologies. I might list them just so you have the names so you can look them up on the secondary market. You should be able to find them somewhere. Somebody might be getting rid of one. These are all pristine, uncarried, but there's probably some out there like NAF Sale and Love Them Knives that you might find. So who knows? Be well, take care, and come back soon. This Old Sword, signing out.